For those who don't know, Darwin, I mean, there's very few that probably don't know. Darwin is a very powerful individual, part of the Latin Chamber of Commerce. Is that New Jersey or is that just everywhere?
Well, it's New Jersey based. We do have members that are outside of the state.
He's also part of Central Jersey Real Producers Magazine. He is the founder of that. And we're going to get into that because I think that for agents and really vendors, that is a wildly valuable source for you all. So Latin Chamber of Commerce. How did you even get involved in that? And tell me the genesis of you even coming into your conscious.
Well, it's actually a story, how it all started. And I'll try to condense it as much as I can. But I became a member of the original forum called the Union County Latino American Chamber of Commerce in 2015. Then, while networking and being involved, the founder decided to restructure the organization and offer me an opportunity in 2017 to be the president of the organization. So my first term started in 2018 as the president for the Union County Latino American Chamber of Commerce. We pushed along, COVID hits, but between then and COVID, the founder disappears, ends up just kind of taking off, leaving it in my hands. I take it over, run with it, and then COVID hits. COVID hits, pretty much lose a good chunk of my board of directors. I'm left with like two of them. But I said, hey, we're starting all over again. I went out there, started recruiting people to come onto the board. We then put the board together. 2021, after COVID lifted its restrictions, rather the state lifted its restrictions for COVID, we then did an event. And we decided that based on the people that were attending the event, we're no longer just a Union County organization. And we just dropped the name, the Latino Chamber of Commerce. So it was a relaunch of the chamber as it is today, as of August of 2021.
Tell me, what's the core mission of the Latin Chamber of Commerce? And how has it contributed to, businesses and in the community, in the New Jersey community?
Right. Well, the three things that the primary function of our chamber is, number one, to provide resources to our membership with regards to maybe financing or educational resources to be able to help grow their business. The second part is provide networking opportunities to be able to develop relationships within their sphere, right? So it's an ecosystem that we're building as well as we grow our membership. And the third thing is advocacy, where we can act as a kind of a lobbying organization, boots on the ground on a local level with local government, where we can speak on behalf of a member if a policy is in fact either benefiting them or hurting them with regards to their business. We're advocating for them. So for example, recently a lot of cannabis come into the market, right? Mm-hmm. And so in the nearby city that I live in, nearby rather, Elizabeth, I ended up speaking in front of the Council of Elizabeth on behalf of one of our members to help approve their permit to operate as a cannabis retailer in the city. And I went there to speak on behalf, representing the Chamber of Commerce on behalf of the member and talking about the member being in good standing and how we were for them being approved of their permits because we felt we would make a positive economic impact within the community and also develop more job opportunities as well for the local residents. And at the end of it, by the way, this was twice this happened. 2 times we had a successful result where the council voted in majority in favor of those permits, and those companies have moved forward.
Got it. Okay. So it sounds like, if there's a, something, let's say a decision to be made or something that's going on in the area, you guys can have some influence, the Chamber of Commerce can have some influence on what happens with regards to that, because of your stature in the community. It sounds like.
We would hope so. We have some influence, or at bare minimum, give our members another soundboard or an extra voice in their corner to help move along their business.
Yeah. So what are some I'm imagining there are challenges. What are some of the challenges that, I guess I'd say Latino business owners face now, hearing what, you gave that scenario. What are some challenges in New Jersey? And I guess, how would the Chamber of Commerce address them?
Well, I would say that a lack of education in the sense of how to go about doing business here in Jersey, right? We have
Mhm.
certain laws, certain regulations, and sometimes people that come from other countries, and like I say, I'll say it right off the bat, like my parents are from Ecuador, and I know
Yeah.
my Ecuadorian people, they're very hardworking, they're very ambitious, they come over here, but they still bring over the same mindset in the sense of how things work over there here, and it's
Ah,
not the way it is.
yeah.
You can't just go to somebody's house, start breaking up their driveway, and charge the person a fee, and not expect to have permits. That's just yeah. I swear to God, one contractor what to my parents' house. My mom was like, "Do you have a license to do this?" He pulled out his driver's license. This is my license. She goes, "No."
Oh
What
my
is your
God.
professional license? So it's things like that we have to go over and say, listen,
Yeah.
things are done differently here. But if we can give them the right tools and the right education and how to take steps to be able to get integrated into the system, that's
Hmm.
our job to show. Hey, listen, you know what? You have great ethic. You have great skill set. You're a plumber. You're an electrician. You
Yeah.
have a cleaning service. All right, let's teach you how to get properly certified within the state as a minority owned business, and then show you how to go ahead and start the procurement process within the local municipalities. How do you bid
Wow.
for these businesses? But they may not be aware of it. So that's where our job
Yeah.
comes in, providing the resources of people within the SBA to tell them what kind of financing is available to them, and also how to get it listed properly as a business in state in
Yeah.
Jersey, and then how to go about procurement. For example, that's just one of the several examples I could probably go over. What
Hmm.
the challenges are on Main Street for these businesses that are coming in, maybe again I would say immigrant based businesses, which is the backbone of I mean it's a huge number in terms of
Sure.
Hispanic businesses are providing on the domestic level nationally. But those are some of the little things and nuances that we have to get over and get through. But that's what the chamber should be doing, and we have to open up our ears and listen. What is it that's going on out there too? Right?
Yeah.
What the challenges are, and how can we help be a resource to help be the part of the solution to be able to get them to the end result.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me about you. You mentioned something that I'm interested to hear about SBA because I dabble in commercial real estate as well, and SBA comes up a good bit. So talk to me about when you say SBA, you're talking in the realm of and in the vein of what
In the vein
as it pertains to to Latinos and business.
right. For example, could be a restaurant owner looking to open up a restaurant. Right. There's opportunities and there's financing options for them specifically, but there's steps they have to take. And so I'm by the way, I'm no lending expert whatsoever, right? I wouldn't be able to speak on it in the granular level how those loan programs work and in what
Hmm.
verticals and industries they're supposed to be attached to. Wouldn't be able to speak on
Yeah.
that. What I can speak on is that our job is to get those experts to come to the table, to come to a forum, to come to a seminar and speak to our membership about what's available out there. Right.
Got it.
My
Got
job
it.
is to
Okay.
usher it.
Yeah. It's
I do
almost
the
like
ushering, they do the preaching. That's all.
yeah,
That's my
it's almost
job.
like you're a broker. Like
That's
you're
it.
bringing in. Yeah, you got you got them. You got the business. Hey, let's get you guys in a room. You guys figure it out.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah.
I love it. All right. And it makes sense to me because that's basically what a mortgage broker does: is they broker the lender with the seller or the buyer. So, okay. And then, so one of the questions I had is how do you guys help Latin entrepreneurs in like the real estate industry as far as like, is it purely just business? Like you're helping them get businesses, or is there something that you do with regard to residential real estate, and things of that nature, or commercially maybe?
So, well, we keep our reach broad, right? Because we're a chamber of commerce. We're not the Latino Real Estate Association, for example. There's plenty of them out there, right?
Okay.
So our function is that, yes, if you're a realtor, we're going to bring you into our community and our, like I said, ecosystem so you can network with other individuals that will hopefully help you build your business as a real estate practitioner. But then, of course, when there's need out there on the general educational level of financing, now we're talking about home buying, right? Our home buying is a very general, I would say, topic. And that's where we'll bring in some real estate experts to talk about those kind of things. Or if there's a home buying seminar going on and we can help fill the room with people in the general public, then that's our job too. If you're a member of our chamber and you're a realtor, and you say, Darwin, I'm having a home buying seminar in February. It's going to be at this time, at this location. Here's the flyer. Can you guys post this up for me? Absolutely. Right.
Wow.
That's
okay.
To be able to use our reach to also help you scale your business. And sometimes people just don't ask.
Yep. And for those out there, just so you know who's going to be listening to this, that has worked for me with Darwin. As far as, I consider Darwin a good friend. And when I have events, I'll have Darwin post them, and then he brings people in to the event, whether it's a prospecting clinic or an event on, how to pre-qualify a seller if you're going to be going for a listing. Anything like that with regards to real estate, Darwin is a very, very powerful resource to have on your side to help you with your business to grow. And then again, you can help Darwin with his business, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. But one of the questions that I did have for you regarding the community is like what role real estate plays in like empowering, minority communities. In New Jersey is number one, it's expensive. And number two, it is ridiculously diverse. So how does real estate play a factor in empowering these, the Latinos and these immigrants that are coming in and let's say they're starting at ground zero?
Yeah. Well, because buying a property in this country solidifies the fact that you're here, right? So let's just talking on a very basic immigration process. Having a property helps for that person to obtain their permanent residency status. So I'm not claiming to be an attorney on that, but I do know at least that much, right? But then beyond that, that's the first part. I say the second part out of three, 1, 2, and 3. Number 2, it's the first step to building wealth in this country, owning property, right?
Yes.
And the third part is it also provides a sense of stability for that family as well. Living in a home, being constant, having a place to come home to. Yeah. Those factors not just affect the adults that are living and working and building their business, it affects their children as well. Because then from there, they go to a local community school, and now they're being educated. They're coming back to a home that they know is going to be the same home year after year after year, as opposed to renting, and maybe home is here today, and then home will be over there next year, right? It's a different story. It provides stability, which then filters into the culture of these children so that they can stay focused. I've spoken to a lot of teachers that have told me how there's a difference. And by the way, teachers who have become realtors have told me that within working within inner cities, they've seen how the stability factor is so vast in terms of the spectrum of renting and owning. It's remarkable in the sense of what the performance is of that child in school with regards to grades. Interesting.
I would have never put that correlation together.
There is because the psychology of it provides stability, and that stability reduces stress, which then allows for more focus. It's a lot easier to focus when you don't have to worry about where you're going to be living next year.
Yeah.
Or whether or not you're going to move next year and then be in another school and then lose your friends. And then you see how that cycle goes?
I do. And I'll tell you, as somebody who grew up here, I was born here and grew up here. And I was very lower middle class when I, grew up. These things aren't in my consciousness. When you grow up in rural or suburban New Jersey, you're not, the plight of an immigrant is not in my forefront. So to have you explain that, because to me, home ownership is something I was born into it. So you don't think about it.
You know,
and to piggyback on that, I read a stat that 70% of all millionaires in this country are immigrants.
There you go.
And it speaks to what's that?
And the number will grow.
Yeah. Well, because the more that come to this country, they have a drive, like an inner desire, an inner need to do well and succeed. And I almost want to say this is controversial, but more than someone who's born here, because it's, you're privy to all that this country has to offer first. So this is all you know, as opposed to, well, if you're coming from, let's say, Cuba or the DR, and it's an impoverished place you're coming from,
Right.
and then you come here, you want to succeed because you don't want to go back there.
Exactly. So, and yeah, to validate what you're saying is that as an American, as a born American citizen, right? We also have to be grateful that that's our status, that we're born here, have an American citizenship because of the fact that we're born here, and so that means we have a head start in general terms. Sure, everybody else has their own setbacks and own challenges. That's without saying, but just the fact that you're a born American citizen, it's a plus. So I'd say that anybody listen to this, it's not controversial. Nothing wrong with being proud of the fact that where you're born, and be happy and be grateful that you are.
Yeah. I mean, I always say, like, look, man, the only difference between me and somebody that lives in, let's say, Cuba or the DR is geography. I just happen to hit the geographical lottery.
Exactly.
That I'm born in this slice of time right now from 1975 to whenever I'm not on this planet anymore. That was it's when you think about it, brother, it's like this minuscule I can't even put my fingers close enough together to show how small my time on this planet is. So now what's coming to my mind and my conscious is to see the entrepreneurial drive that you have and the need to serve is something that when you're not here, your legacy is still going to go.
Yes, that's
because of the people that you've affected.
Yeah, definitely. I would say one of the things that I've gotten to in my point in life now is becoming more legacy minded. That's what drives me as well. I know my days are numbered, and with the profession that I'm in, that's what I talk about. Right? I know that can happen. I've seen it happen. We've all experienced a person passing away unexpectedly or expectedly. So that gives you the clue that no matter what, 7 out of 10 of people don't own a property, but 10 out of 10 of us are going to pass away at one point, by the way. So
yes,
it's the way it's true. And we just don't know when. But so that means every day we have to treat it as our last opportunity to do with the best we can.
Tell me, so you mentioned legacy. What do you want your legacy to be? I know you've thought about it because you told me about it. So
yeah. So
now,
I live the philosophy of this quote that I always talk about, that if service is beneath you, then leadership is beyond you.
Wow, I've never heard that. I like that.
If service is beneath you, then leadership is beyond you. And history has proven time and time that there have been individuals on our planet that have given us that example, and it holds true. Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, JFK Jr., Jesus Christ. I mean, we can go on. And most of those individuals were servants before they became leaders, because people see that as such a blessing, but a benefit, because you're in proximity to this person that's serving, and just by default, you end up leading, you get a following and being a part of something that changes the world. And every single person I just mentioned right now changed the world to some degree. And so I know that I won't be here forever, and I don't know when that day comes. So all I can do is leave the best legacy behind in terms of serving others and giving as much as I can now. So that's the way I see it.
It's probably why we came into contact with each other, man. Yeah. I really appreciate that, just to listen to it. And it's inspiring to hear when you hear somebody that just does these things selflessly for others. I mean, it's the most selfless thing you can do, is to just do something for someone else with literally no expectation of something in return.
Sure.
So, and you're involved with these two things, and the Latin Chamber of Commerce being, the one that I'd imagine you saw the impact of people coming here and maybe the plight or the struggle of getting financing, getting a business started, the minutia of navigating communities as far as permits or city hall or builder, whatever it is. And then what you said to yourself, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be wrong here, they need help because they don't understand the system the way that I do.
Right.
So what I'm going to do now is be the lead, be the guide, and help them through to get them to where they need to go. Because really, ultimately, everybody on this planet is trying to get somewhere. So if I can help somebody get to where they're trying to go, maybe somebody will help me get where I'm trying to go.
Exactly. Remember, that's the old saying, right? You're helping other people get what they want, you get what you want. And then I say this quote over and over again. If my board members were listening to this right now, they start laughing because they already probably know what I'm going to say. But it's a candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. Right. So
I love that. That is great, man.
If we were right now, Dan, if we were to shut down all the lights in our where we are in our rooms and shut them all off, and we turn on one candle, right? That's going to add some light to the room. But if I were to take one candle, light another, we can light an entire home, an entire town, entire city. I mean, hey, at some point, our towns and cities were run by candlelight, right? So it worked.
Yeah.
But the point is that original candle loses nothing. So that's exactly what we're doing and pouring into others. And lighting up their lives, because that also gives us fulfillment as well. That's the fulfillment that I get. And talking about helping those people out there get access to the system. The other part that I love too with networking period is just connecting people and finding out later, oh, my business grew, 27% because I made this connection. Yeah. How'd you meet them?
Yeah.
Darwin, I was at your event and you made this connection. I shook their hand and we went to dinner at that point and dude, we took off. I go, well, please keep me updated on what's going on because I want to know if this is even working. I don't know.
Yeah.
This person could go off and be a multi-millionaire just because it came to one of our events. I had no clue about it, right? I was like, let me know. It's a great testimony as to why this is working.
Absolutely. Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, it really is. And I mean, look, I fell into real estate because I really enjoyed, obviously we're here on an economic planet, so the money is good.
Yeah, exactly.
But, being able to, I'm not married. I don't have any kids. So I always say being married to your work, if you're going to get married to your work, then love what the heck you do. And I really do. I really enjoy what I do. So it sounds like you are on the same boat as that, which is going to segue into a question that I had for you regarding, because you're talking about it, your passion. Mm-hmm. What drives your passion for supporting businesses and sharing stories in the real estate space, in the Latin Chamber of Commerce space, and we'll get into Central Jersey Real Producers literally, in a couple minutes. What drives that passion? Because you have a passion for it. I can hear it in your voice.
Right.
What drives it? Something happened to you when you were younger? What is it?
Right. I would say it's the things that transpired through my life that I had that I'm grateful for. Right. Even on the very simplistic level. And I was born in New York. My parents are from Ecuador. And when I was almost 9 years old, they decided to leave their rental apartment in Astoria, Queens, and decide to buy a home and be one of the first homeowners of that family clan to come over to New Jersey and buy property. One of the first.
Yeah.
There was a couple that are already here, but they decided to take that leap and cross the bridge and come over to Jersey and buy property. Yeah. And that changed the trajectory of their lives and also mine. And so I'm grateful for that. But I know also there could have been more done along the way, right? And so I feel that that's just the start of it. And what I gain passion, my passion is about helping people not be complacent and just say, this is good. No, good is the enemy of great. So once you get to this point, the question is, where else can we go? Let's stretch further. Let's stretch more. And that's where I see that my legacy tied into what I enjoy doing is seeing people grow and accomplish their goals. And I've somehow had a handle in that or a factor in that. That's where I get my fulfillment.
Wow.
Even for example, I'll go back to, my story with bodybuilding this year.
Darwin participated in a bodybuilding competition, on a whim, saying, he was not a bodybuilder. He wasn't even really a gym rat, and just said, I'm going to compete in, it's the equivalent of somebody not running and saying in however many months, 6 months or whatever, I'm going to go run the New York City Marathon.
Right. Exactly.
So talk about this journey, the start, and how it changed you what changed? I'm imagining internally you changed. I want to hear all about it.
Yes. So, well, it started, my first day was January 29th, and then I competed on September 21st. So the whole process was 34 weeks of 2024. So a long time. Prior to that, I've been in the gym. I was actually in the gym industry before for about 10 years of my life, in personal training and gym membership sales, club management. So I was around that kind of world for a little bit, but I never actually put myself to the test to say, hey, could I be a competitor in bodybuilding? But I always admired the sport. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno, Dorian Yates, and Ronnie Coleman. I remember back in the day in the 90s, before internet, you have to go buy the magazines, Muscle Mag and Flex Magazine. I used to buy them to try to find out how these guys were working out so I could work out too, right? In my teen years. So that had an impact and an influence to me in the sense of fitness. But then finally, in 2023, I had a conversation with a friend of mine who was competing. I told him about how I always thought of doing that. He had competed already 3 times. And he just said, what exactly is stopping you? And he just broke me down. He just stripped away any excuses I had and said, stop it. Mm-hmm. You have no excuses. Stop waiting for something to be the perfect timing. It's not. So do it now. Do it next year. Just do it. Get it done. And that's what I did. And along the process, I was documenting it on Instagram and social media and Facebook, and people were watching me as I progressed through this. I mean, it was every other day I was posting videos of me working out. And I guess at first people said, oh, we'll see how this goes. And that time was kept going on and on. People were like, oh, this guy's freaking serious about this. I even had one guy admit to me, he said, you know what? Honestly, Darwin, at first I was like, I don't think this guy's going to make it. I think he's kind of BS. We'll see what happens. He goes, and then I saw you around June, July. He goes, and I said, wow, this guy really committed to this. So he was impressed. And I said, well, I'm glad you thought that. And I'm glad I proved it wrong, what you thought. But along the way, without realizing it, this is going back to the candle analogy that I mentioned, and also just the people hitting their goals and me being a factor of it. People started reaching out to me during my process on social media or texting me and say, hey, man, you're doing amazing. That is so awesome, your transformation. How did you do it? Or what are you doing? Or how could I get started? And I ended up having people start to work out, start to change their eating habits because of what I was doing. And I had people reaching out to me, Darwin, you don't know, but I started working out because I've been watching you, man. You inspired the hell out of me, motivated me, and now I'm working out. I'm like, great. Mm-hmm. I had no clue. I had no clue that I was doing that, right? I was doing this for myself because I was challenging myself and saying, I need to step up my level of discipline. And when I finished all of this, what it did for me internally was that, okay, it gave me a higher level of discipline, a deeper, more connected mind to muscle, I would say, connection that I needed as well. But also more respect for myself in terms of my body, what I can do. But it broke, and I think I mentioned this before to you, it broke some limiting beliefs that I didn't even know I had. Mm. And so, so it gave me this newfound sense of confidence because no matter what, and I know that I know I'm out there, I'm an outgoing person, I'm very extroverted, I have no problem getting on a microphone in front of 1,000 people on stage and I'll be totally fine. Although I'm freaking out inside. Trust me, I am. Right? So I'm not immune. I'm not immune to anxiety. I'm not immune to self-doubt. I'm not immune to feeling like I'm not enough. Everybody feels like that. But this process showed me that I can do more. I can be more. I can accomplish more. And their only limit is my imagination at this point.
You just mentioned limiting beliefs. And I have a team and we do calls. I just had a call before this, and a lot of times we talk about those limiting beliefs. If somebody's scared to call a different lead source, somebody's scared to, go out on a limb to do something that their mind is telling them can't do that. Nope, not possible. So in the real estate world, we deal with this every day. You're not going to close any other deals. You're going to end up broken alone and, by yourself and on an island somewhere. So all this chatter that we have in our head. What was your process to eliminate or at least get over the hurdle of a limiting belief? And what were your limiting beliefs?
My limiting belief was that I wasn't, first of all, in terms of this idea with competing,
Mhm.
But I didn't have enough discipline to do it.
Interesting.
I thought, you know what? I have discipline, but man, that's another level.
Because
Apparently,
I know you're a disciplined guy, so
different
that's an
guy,
interesting.
but I thought
Yeah.
that was such extreme discipline that I would never be able to do it. The mental discipline of eating a certain way and avoiding certain drinks and alcohol and this, and I mean, that's hard. And in my mind, I'm like, Mike, how am I ever going to do that? I live in such a social world where my world revolves around drinks and food. It's like, how am I going to do this?
Sure.
How am I going to be this like social pariah because of the fact I can't be there? And it was uncomfortable. I would have to go to functions and bring my own food, even family barbecues. I'd have to bring my own freaking food, or at a party. And they were kind of looking like, this guy's freaking nuts. And so not everybody's on board with it. You look like you're crazy because you're doing something that's so out of the ordinary. But you know what? That's why it's called extraordinary, because it's extra. And then people get uncomfortable with it, because what happens also is that when you're stretching yourself and you're hitting these goals, some of the people around you could get uncomfortable, because what it does, it reflects back on them and their shortcomings and failures, or their lack of commitment in themselves. Because in this business and life, you could be either interested or committed, but interested only lasts a little bit. And that's what happens to some people that I know try to do the whole fitness journey. They're interested in losing weight. They're interested in getting stronger. They're interested in getting abs. They're interested in looking good on at the beach this summer. But they're not going to be committed. If they're not committed, because committed people do whatever the freak it takes.
Yes.
They do whatever it takes. The difference between committed and interested, that's it. So you can be interested or committed, but you can be either committed to your excuses or committed to results.
That is
translating
powerful.
now, when we talk about what changed in me, that's what I've been translating now, and maybe even segueing this into Central Jersey Real Producers and my financial business practice. I said, listen, I'm a type of advisor, I'm a type of publisher that you want to work with, because I proved to myself that I know how to win. I'm committed to winning. If you're looking to win in your retirement and financial goals, then I'm your guy. And by the way, if you're not really committed, seriously, don't waste my time. If you're a lender or a home inspector or a title insurance person or a real estate attorney, and you're looking to scale your business in 2025 and meet top producing real estate agents, I'm committed to do that. I know how to do it, and I will do it with or without you. Do you want to win with me?
Yeah.
I want to win with you. And trust me, you can hold me accountable. Push me. I'll push back. But if you're not going to do it, if I'm going to introduce you to a couple of realtors, you don't follow up, for example, man, you're just interested. You're not committed. Don't waste my time. Because that's the same person that will pay a fee every month to advertise in my magazine and then blame the freaking magazine that it doesn't work. No, you don't work. The golfer doesn't blame the golf club. It's you. You're the one swinging, not the club.
Interested but not committed. I like that.
And that's within business relationships and personal relationships too. Love life, love relationships, same way. You're interested or committed. Committed people. You know who's committed? My mom and dad. They're about to have 40 years of being married. Coming 2025. Dude, that's committed. You know how much freaking crap probably happened in 40 years? Think about that. And by the way, doesn't say that everybody who in divorce didn't have commitment. Sometimes there's factors in there that you gotta get. You gotta separate yourself, right? But sometimes there's some factors you can work through. Yes. You're not committed to working through them. You're just interested. Then it's not work. And that's again a business partnership too. Same thing.
Yeah, I'm just letting that digest, because I'm thinking in my own world, where does that come into play? Interested but not committed. Like there's agents that, I'll give you a great example. There's agents that reach out to me, one in particular that I have in my brain right now. We've had numerous conversations about she's not being fulfilled at her current brokerage, and sees what we're doing here, sees what I'm doing, sees what my team's doing. And we know each other. And I've had numerous, she knows that she needs to make the move. She's interested, but she's not committed. We've had conversations 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's the same ones. And it's just like, are you committed? Because for me, You tell me how you are. I can tell you how I am. When I see something from someone that's believable and credible, and I see it, and they show me an opportunity, and I see it, like if you showed me an opportunity, and I see the benefit of it, there's no, all right, let me just go and think about this. I'll get back to you in a couple of days. Like, no, like, fuck that shit. I'm in. What do we need to do? Now I have right now 3 people that if they presented me an opportunity like that, it's no fucking questions asked.
Right.
No questions asked. Let's go. I'm in. Here we go. What do I need to do? We're going. You have to, and I think people need to build that equity with someone, because it goes into like proximity of who you're around. And you got into proximity with probably a trainer, I'm imagining.
Yes.
That was like, hey, there's no half-assing this. No. It is, you are either, the term I like to use a lot is you're all in, because I play poker. You're all in. Okay? I'm going to test you for everything you got. I'm going to push all my chips in front of you. I'm all in. Are you? And I love that term. Interested, but not committed.
Yeah.
That is power.
Yeah.
And you are not somebody that I know to be if you like something, you're like, you're not a dabbler. You're either going to go or you're not going to go.
Yeah.
So that, all right. And listen, man, I appreciate you sharing it, because those are things I didn't know about this journey with you and bodybuilding, because because to me, yeah, the physical body, the result of your training is there. Obviously, you can physically see it. That's what makes things tangible. And humans usually will respond to something tangible as opposed to something intangible, which is like faith.
Right.
But talk to me. This is what I love to know. How did you change? How did you how did you become, because I know you did, become better, become wiser, become stronger, become more, not only disciplined in working out, in life in general. Talk to me about that transformation, because prior to me being where I'm at, I was ridiculously undisciplined to where I was a dabbler. Yeah, let me think about it. All right, I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah.
And it goes into if you lie a small lie once, that's how you are in everywhere. If you cheat here a little bit, that means now I know how you are.
Exactly. It's
tell me about that.
I think it was I want to say maybe Zig Ziglar may have said that how you do something is how you do everything. Right.
Okay.
And so, right. So then my bodybuilding experience then translated into, well, how do I apply the same discipline and intensity and focus and intent into my other areas of life? Right. And it's still not easy. Just because I did it once doesn't mean I got the answers and I'm now enlightened and I figured it all out. No. Right. But it gave me a better tool and a better system to be able to go about life's challenges anyway. And there's even times now where I feel like it's an alter ego. Right now, on my wall, I got a picture of myself doing a push-up that a buddy of mine took as a professional photographer. And the quote says, "Nobody ever drowned in sweat." And I read it and then I look, it's fucking me. It's me doing a fucking push-up. And it's like, I look at that guy, I'm like, that guy's telling me, like, fuck your excuses. Like, whatever he's thinking right now, fuck your excuses. You have no excuse. That guy, and I say it, like, that guy right there is like another person almost. I look at that person, I'm like, that's almost like it's not even me. And I look at him like, wow, like that guy would not let me excuse myself right now. That guy would not let me allow the negative crap going on my mind to get in my way to do what I have to do today. To be able to make that phone call, to do that Zoom call, to be able to do that presentation.
Yes.
Or go to the gym. Like, I don't feel like going. Go. Or eat my meals. I'm in off season right now. You know what I found harder? It's harder to gain weight to lose weight.
Really?
I'm finding out. Yeah.
How so? Tell me about that.
A lot more eating. A lot more.
So you're eating more.
I mean,
are you eating? Are you back to? Oh, I shouldn't say back to. when you were training, I'm imagining you're not eating anything processed. You're not eating anything like
no, right.
fast food, anything like.
Right now, I'm cheating. Right, I'm cheating. I can eat the donuts and the cakes and the ice cream. I can do all that, but I still got to eat my meals. And my trainer would like hearing that, but I'm eating my meal. But it's a lot. It's just a lot of food. So what I'm saying is that even now in what I call the off season, I still have an accountability. It's something that I have to be accountable to. So it never goes away.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what that's kind of like the secret sauce. So the gym is such a great example of a human being, because if I can, now this isn't for everybody, but the majority, I can tell how your life is by how you look. And what I mean by that is if you're just, I could say grossly overweight, but this is probably a really controversial thought process, but I'm gonna go there anyway. Yeah, I mean, I realize that there are, this new, what's the new drug now everybody's taking
Ozempic,
oh, that's it, Ozempic. They have no idea the detrimental impact that this drug has on them, but all they're hearing is that it can help you lose weight. When really all you need to do is just be very disciplined with your exercise and your diet. That's all it is. And that starts here, which is what you just said. So if you don't have it here, just with your own body, how am I to make assumptions on how your life is going? Decisions, work, are you doing what you love? Are you, do you follow through on things? Are you a procrastinator? Do you just not make decisions? You could just tell, somebody who is in shape that at least takes some kind of effort to their body, I can imagine that's going to correlate into other parts of their life. My brother, it was a pleasure, absolute, to get you on here and just chop it up a little bit with you about what you got going on. Your journey it's inspiring, number one, for me, to see somebody that took, I'm not going to say nothing, but you took an idea and made it into literally the highest form of competition, which is a bodybuilding competition. That's inspiring to me, man. It makes me want to go and do something. So I love that. Love stories like that. I appreciate you, my brother. And we will check each other in about 4 or 5 hours.
Got it. See you soon.
You bet, bro.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
Man, I got Omar here. My boy is scorching. We got 4 appointments here. I mean, oh, damn, bro. This dude is hot right now. Talk to me about what you got going on here.